Did you know the Titanic was once called the ship of dreams? But for more than 1,500 people, that dream turned into a nightmare in the middle of a freezing ocean. The Titanic was supposed to be the safest ship ever built, a floating palace made with the latest technology of its time. People said it was unsinkable, a ship so perfect that even God couldn't sink it. On April 10, 1912, thousands came to see it set sail from Southampton, England. The rich and famous were there with their fine clothes and servants, and so were the poor, carrying nothing but hope for a new life in America. Everyone believed they were part of something special. The ship was huge, almost 3 football fields long, and filled with luxury. There was a grand staircase, a swimming pool, fine dining halls, and rooms that looked like hotels. For those in first class, it was paradise. They danced, drank, and bragged about how safe the Titanic was. Down below, in third class, families sang, laughed, and dreamed of the better lives waiting for them across the ocean. No one imagined that in just a few days, all of it would end in tragedy. For the first few days, the journey was perfect. The weather was clear, the sea calm, and the Titanic glided smoothly. Captain Edward Smith, proud and experienced, was on what was supposed to be his final trip before retirement. He had no reason to worry, or so he thought. But messages had been coming in from other ships, warnings of icebergs ahead. The crew received several of them that day, but the ship kept going full speed. People said, "This is the Titanic, nothing can stop her." Then came the night of April 14, 1912. It was cold, the sky was clear, and the ocean looked still like glass. Most passengers had gone to sleep. Around 11:40 p.m., a lookout named Frederick Fleet saw something dark ahead. "Iceberg, right ahead!" he shouted. The crew tried to turn, but it was too late. The Titanic scraped against the iceberg, tearing open her side. It didn't look like much at first, no loud explosion, no panic, but the ship had been fatally wounded. Water began flooding the lower decks, fast. At first, most people didn't believe anything was wrong. Some laughed when told to wear life jackets. After all, they were on the unsinkable Titanic. But the truth hit hard when the ship started tilting. Panic spread. The crew began lowering lifeboats, but there weren't enough. There were only 20, less than half of what was needed for everyone on board. The rule was women and children first, and in the freezing dark, families were torn apart. Husbands kissed their wives goodbye, knowing they would never see them again. Music played as people screamed. The band on deck kept performing to calm the crowd, even as the water climbed higher. People could hear the groaning metal as the Titanic broke apart. The lights flickered, then went out completely. Moments later, the ship lifted high into the air and snapped in two. At 2:20 a.m., the mighty Titanic disappeared beneath the black water. The silence that followed was worse than the noise, only the sound of people crying in the freezing sea. More than 1,500 people died that night. Only about 700 were rescued by a passing ship called the Carpathia.